This is Supreme Justice with Judge Karen. Michael and Hillary Owens are suing veterinarian Alan Reynolds in the amount of $1,200. They claim the defendant caused undue pain and suffering when he botched the euthanization of their beloved Labrador.
Okay, Mr. and Mrs. Owens, you are suing Mr. Reynolds for medical malpractice and emotional distress that resulted from the euthanization of your dog. Is that right?
That is correct.
And how long have you been a vet?
Over 25 years, Your Honor.
Okay, and how long had you been the doctor for this vet, for this particular dog?
The entire 9 years that they had Coco.
Okay, so tell me what was going on, ma'am.
Well, we had Coco from birth, from when she was a puppy, and about 7 years into her life, she started showing signs of kidney failure. So we took her to Dr. Reynolds, and he was able to provide excellent care and medication to help ease her symptoms. And she lived another year and a half relatively well. But then at about 8.5 years old, she started to lose her hair, lose weight, and also she could not control her bladder.
So who made a decision to euthanize the dog?
Dr. Reynolds had recommended that we put her down.
But we were in agreement because of the
Okay.
suffering that Coco...
Okay, so did something go wrong?
Yes.
What went wrong?
There was a reaction to one of the drugs that I gave Coco. Actually,
What drug was that?
it was a sedative that is used often in the euthanization of pets. And we have to remember that Coco was a very sick dog, had a lot of veins that were blocked, and I injected the drug into a vein that probably was blocked.
And so what was the result of that?
The drug did not get to where it's supposed to and do the job that it is supposed to.
Okay, so she didn't die immediately?
No.
If it had been administered properly in a vein that wasn't blocked, then how long would it have taken her to die?
About 5 minutes.
I'm asking the vet on this one.
I would say about 5 minutes, Your
Did you
Honor.
tell him it was going to take 5 minutes?
Yes.
Okay, so how long did it take?
It probably took more like 8 or 9.
Okay. We don't agree with that?
No, not
How
at
long
all.
did it take?
Half an hour.
At least a half an hour.
A
when
half
we,
an hour?
When we
Yes,
were
ma'am.
told it was supposed to be a maximum of 5 minutes.
Right. So what was going on during this time? What were you doing?
Well, I was actually doing the euthanasia. We had a short staff that night.
Right.
We had someone come in with a horse with a heart condition, and someone else brought in a dog
Right.
with a gunshot wound to the eye. I had to use other staff to stabilize those animals.
Right, but why was it taking, what I'm hearing from this couple is that it was taking 30 minutes. Why was it taking 30 minutes?
Partially because I could not get a second dose of the drug that I needed quickly. Our technicians were very busy that night.
Right.
We had...
So what condition was the animal in during all this time? What was the animal doing?
She was gasping for air. She was trembling.
Your Honor, I was in shock. I couldn't believe that we had walked in there thinking that this process would take just a couple minutes, and we're in there for 25 to 30 minutes.
Watching our dog be
Why
Yeah.
don't you think
tortured.
you're responsible? You give me all the excuses. There was a dog came in, shot in the eye, and a horse, and all these other things. I'm short-staffed. I didn't have the right medication. I mean, how many excuses am I supposed to hear?
I admit that I am responsible. I was the
Okay.
one conducting the euthanasia.
Okay, so why didn't you offer them some sort of relief? They're asking for $1,120. How much did it cost, this euthanization?
The bill was $120.
Okay. Did you offer them anything?
No, because they never asked for anything. I was hoping
We-
that one day I would be able to help them find a replacement for Coco when they were ready.
Yeah, but you just can't replace a dog.
Your Honor, that
There
was...
is no, a dog is like a member of the family.
Exactly.
You should know that. You're a vet. And you don't just give somebody a new dog because the dog that they've had for years has died. It's so funny. I was on the phone yesterday morning with a friend of mine in New York. Her dog, Coco, died 2 weeks ago. And Coco was like 10 years old. And she's devastated, my friend. She hasn't been able to leave the house. You think you could just walk over there with another standard-sized poodle?
As I said,
and
Your
it's
Honor,
okay?
when they were ready, or if they were ever ready, I was offering to
But
help
did
them
you
find
offer to
another
give
pet.
them the money back? I can't believe you would even send a bill. It took my dentist 2 hours to try to pull out a tooth of mine, and he never could get it out. And guess what? He gave me no bill. No bill. Because he didn't do what he was supposed to do. We didn't have to argue about it, but he knew I was a judge, so maybe that was why. But
bill was
it just
sent out
seems to
without
me
my knowledge, Your Honor.
$120. I would not have issued somebody a bill under those circumstances when we're talking about something as sensitive as the death of a beloved family pet.
I understand. The bill was sent by mistake. I
Everything is a
asked
mistake.
them not to send it.
You are Mr. Veterinarian with the excuses. Make sure you leave your card so I know not to take my dog to you.
Coming up on Supreme Justice with Judge Karen.
Even if she had died in those 5 minutes, you would have been under the same emotional distress. I've lost 2 dogs in the last 2 years. It wouldn't have mattered how they died. They died.
And later,
I told her, you know, I'm a woman. That's my identity.
You had never said that to her before.
Not specifically, no.
we're back with the case of Michael and Hillary Owens, who are suing Alan Reynolds for medical malpractice.
Let me hear about the emotional distress. Who's emotional distress here?
We both are. My
Okay.
wife, more so, you know, because she was home all the time with Coco, and we were unable to have children, so this was a decision that we had made, and I surprised her with Coco when she was a puppy.
Right.
So the attachment was just of a child. I mean, that's, we consider...
But what is the emotional distress? You have to prove up. You can't just say I'm devastated.
No, Your Honor.
You have somebody, you have a doctor or somebody that's going to, who treated you? Were you given antidepressants? Could you not go to work? Were you bedridden?
I was not able to go to work. I actually work from home, but I
Right.
do graphic design.
Okay.
And I lost a few clients during those months.
Right.
Just like your friend, she said she couldn't
Right.
get out of bed. I also suffered from a rash. I'm not sure. So my body kind of broke out.
Right,
in
but I
hives.
need to see medical. Here we go, medical. I need to see some medical evidence of the emotional distress.
Yes, ma'am.
Because, can I say this? Even if she had died in those 5 minutes, you would have been under the same emotional distress. What you're going through, I've lost 2 dogs in the last 2 years, and it wouldn't have mattered how they died. They died.
Right.
So I was under emotional distress. So how do you separate out your normal emotional distress because you've lost your beloved animal against what happened? Somebody has to be able to tell me about that medically, a psychiatrist, a doctor who treated you. Do you have such a person here?
No, we do not. And, Your Honor, this was our first pet together, and maybe we just, you know, didn't think, you know, to that degree of taking or getting, you know, medical attention. But I can honestly say that I saw, you know, the effects of it, and I know that I have no proof of that, but it was very, very traumatic experience for us both.
I could understand that.
Your Honor,
And, yes?
I did suggest counseling after this happened.
You did?
Okay.
I don't remember you ever
Who did you
suggesting.
suggest they go to?
A psychologist.
Who?
I have several. I have a list of
No,
people
did you
in
say,
my
listen,
office.
I have a good friend, Dr. Brown, and as a matter of fact, I'll pay your bill if you go to Dr. Brown and, you know, talk to him, and he's a grief counselor, and did you do that?
I did not offer that, no.
Right. You know, I can't give you damages for emotional distress, but the law says that I could give punitive damages. You know what punitive damages are, doctor?
I do, Your Honor.
What are punitive damages?
It's basically, it, to me, is punishment for not doing
Punitive
your
damages
job.
are punishment damages. And I'm going to give them punitive damages in the amount of $1,000. And I'm going to give $120 for the recovery for the botched euthanization. All right? Good luck to you. I wish you the best. Judgment
Thank you,
for
Your
the
Honor.
plaintiff in the amount of $1,120.
Judge Karen has ruled in favor of the co-plaintiff. The defendant is ordered to pay $1,120.
I apologize for what happened to Coco, but as a result, we have changed our procedures in euthanasia.
Well, I'm just glad that we can put this behind us and move on.
And later,
Okay,
I
so
talked to
during
her
your
about it.
mid-30s, you started feeling what?
I told her, you know, I'm a woman. That's my identity.
You had never said that to her before.
Not specifically, no.